Have you ever just happened upon a computer case and you give it a good looking, press the buttons on the left and on the right and expect to open it to see a satisfying amount of parts? But in reality, you find an empty case? Well, I got the tutorial for you. First off, you should look around and there should be a pile of parts that you're going to need. If you don't see them, look harder. Before you do anything, you should put on a wrist or arm strap to ground yourself, just to protect you and your computer from ESDs or electrical static discharges. You should see a flat board with a bunch of things sticking to it. That's your motherboard. This can be thought of as the nervous system of a computer, as it literally connects everything as all the buses go through it, it contains all the ports, and it also contains the CPU, the brains of the computer. The CPU does all the arithmetic and logical calculations for the computer. There are 4 parts of the CPU. The register, which is a small and fast storage for commands and processing, the control unit, which decides what command to process next, the ALU, or the arithmetic logic unit, the thing that does the actual processing of commands, and the clock, which determines how fast an ALU can process commands. Improving the motherboard can mean getting a bigger one with more ports, or getting a motherboard with a higher clock rate, which means it can safely do calculations faster. You can also increase the clock rate on your existing motherboard above the safe limit, but that will damage the CPU if you don't accommodate with another improved part, which we will get to later. To actually put this thing on, it should just go in the case somewhere here, and then you should put the pins in the bottom of the case through the holes of the motherboard like so. Then, push the motherboard north or up, so the gaps from the ports and the case are as small as possible. Here is actually a good time to mention that when assembling a computer, never use lots of force to jam parts in, as that could damage something. The next 2 parts that we're going to be putting on are the power switch, the thing that turns the computer on and off, on the left, and the buzzer, the part that gives a beep or a boop if something goes wrong with the computer. Here are where the parts are supposed to go, sort of. The power switch is on the left and the buzzer is going to be on the right. And don't actually put things on the motherboard like that, as that could potentially damage something. Here it is not very visible, but there are clips on the side of the buzzer. Those should go into the holes first, as I will demonstrate in this clip. They should go in first, onto the right side, and then the things on the left side should be pushed and you should hear a click. Next, to push in the power switch, you should first push in the left side, then push on the right side, and you should hear another click. Next, make sure that the wires from the buzzer are inside the case, because now what we're going to do is we're going to push up this part of the computer, like so, and you should feel a small click. Once you've done that, you should have something that looks like this. Now the next part that we're going to be putting on is the front case of the computer. This is just some extra protection for everything. Now line up all the pins of the case like so on the left and on the right, so everything is lined up with the holes. And then you should be able to push in, and each time one of those pins goes in, you should feel a small click. Now once you got the top pins in, push in the bottom pins. And each time you push in a bottom pin, you should feel a click. And because I was doing this with one hand, I had a bit of trouble here. But eventually I got it. The next part that we're going to be putting in is the power supply. This is the part that converts the AC voltage from the outlet to DC voltage, which the computer can use. Generally, you don't need to upgrade this, but sometimes you might need to if you upgrade your GPU, or if you don't have enough output wires for any extra parts that you have. But in this case, everything is fine. You should then put the power supply on the left side where there's an empty space. Then push it in forwards like that and give it a bit of a wiggle until it fits all the way. Next, you should have 2 screws that look something like this. There are many ways of doing this, but the way that works for me is to screw in one screw halfway like this, and then the other screw halfway. And once you've done that, tighten both the screws like in this clip. The next part that we're going to install is the RAM, or Random Access Memory. This component stores all the temporary memory of the computer. It is temporary because once you shut off the computer, the RAM loses all of its memory. And you should find your RAM inside an anti-static bag, because static discharges can damage the RAM. So take out the RAM, making sure that you have a wrist strap or an arm strap, and line it up like so with the RAM ports on the motherboard. Once you've got it lined up, push in one side until you feel a click, and then go over to the other side and push in until you feel another click. Now using blurry vision, we can see that the next part that we're putting in are some more ports. They are the same ports as in the back of the motherboard, except there is an audio input and output port here. Now put this into the hole here, making sure that the hole is lined up with the hole on the case, like so. Next, you should get your one-of-a-kind small screw, which should look something like this, and then screw in the ports. Now is a good time to mention that when you're screwing in something to a computer, don't use too much force, as you could really damage something. The next part that we're going to be putting in is the optical drive. It simply uses a laser to read data from a disk. There isn't too much to improve from an optical disk reader because the improvements are generally made to the disk itself and not the disk reader. Now to install it, make sure that this black side is facing down when you put it into the case. Slide it into the case like so, making sure that it fits along the way. If it does not fit, try turning it around and then putting it in again. Next, you're going to grab a black or red wire which has this kind of connector on the end. This L-shaped connector is called a SATA connector. It is used to connect a hard drive, which we'll get to later, and your optical drive. Making sure that it's the right way around, plug it into your optical drive and make sure that you don't use too much force. Now, let's get into some cable management. Let's plug in all the cables that we have into the motherboard. First, let's start off with this orangish connector that comes from the audio ports. Plug it into the back left of the motherboard over here. It was a bit hard to reach for me, so you have to deal with the picture. Now plug in the yellow connector over here where it says USB 1. Now the reason why I used a little bit of force is because I didn't hear a click, and you also might not hear a click, but when you plug it in, just make sure that it's plugged in all the way, like so. Next, grab your SATA connector from your optical drive and plug it in into the bottom connector. Now you should have this white giant connector coming from the power supply. This one is a bit tricky to get in, but make sure everything is lined up and then plug it into the motherboard, like so. Next, there should be the tiny baby brother of that huge connector near the bottom of the motherboard, and plug it in like so. Finally, there should be this L-shaped bus connector coming from the power supply. This is going to go into your optical drive over here. And then plug it in, making sure it's the right way around. What we have just done is connect all the buses to the motherboard and drives. The first two connectors that we connected are just the audio input outputs. The black connector that we connected is called the SATA, which is the data transfer between the optical drive and the motherboard. And all of those jumbles of wires of white and black connectors, those are the various powers that the computer needs. This next step is optional, but it is a very good idea. If you have this sort of thing lying around, that's there just to organize your cables. What you can do is just organize your cables, like so they're not in the way, all jumbled around. The next part of the computer that we're going to plug in is the heatsink. This is the thing that cools down the CPU. The CPU needs to be cooled down because processing commands generates a lot of heat. And this is the other part that I was talking about earlier. If you overclock your CPU, it is going to generate a lot more heat, and it might break because the heatsink cannot take away all the heat fast enough. But if you also upgrade your heatsink and overclock your CPU, then everything should be fine if you do it right. Now let's actually plug it in. And this part is quite difficult. You should have 4 similar long screws that look something like this. Put one of them into the top right corner of the heatsink, and then put in the heatsink like this. You can just barely see the screw here. Next, push down the case like so. You're going to encounter a little bit of resistance because the heatsink has some force. And make sure you don't jam any wires. Turning on night vision, we can see that the screw is over here on the top right corner. Screw this in about halfway while pushing up on the motherboard so you don't damage it. Now when you open the case, the heatsink shouldn't immediately pop all the way up because you halfway screwed in the screw. Now screw in the rest of the screws in this order. This should help you make sure that the heatsink is properly put in. Bottom left, bottom right, top left, and finally tighten in the top right screw. If you've done it properly, the heatsink should stay there and you shouldn't have damaged the motherboard. Now put this part of the case back down, making sure you don't jam wires, and you may or may not feel a small click. Push it in all the way. Now plug in the brown connector from the heatsink into the brown port of the motherboard. The next part that we're going to be plugging in is the hard disk drive, or just hard drive. This is the part that stores all the permanent memory for the computer. It is permanent because the hard drive remembers the memory even after the computer has been turned off. This part works by spinning a platter inside really fast and uses a voice coil actuator to move a read-write head on a head arm to read data on a spinning platter. Basically, there is a magnet that's moved by magnets to read data on a magnetic disk. Since this part involves a lot of magnets, data could easily be damaged by a stray magnet, which is why we don't put magnets near a computer. And the reason why we have two different types of memory is because RAM is incredibly fast, because theoretically all addresses, or places to store data, are the same distance from the CPU. But RAM loses memory after the computer is shut down, so it's only useful for storing temporary, oftenly used data. A hard drive is much slower than RAM, but its memory is permanent after shutdown, and it is also much cheaper per gigabyte. There is also a third type of memory called ROM, read-only memory, a non-volatile type of memory. Non-volatile means that it doesn't lose memory after the computer turns off, like a hard drive, while RAM is volatile because it loses its data after a shutdown. The ROM contains stuff that never needs to change, like BIOS, Basic Input-Output System. That system is just there to boot up the OS and turn on and off the computer, and also handle some of the input and outputs. To put in the hard drive, put in the pins in the hard drive into the clips or divots onto the heatsink. You don't have to be as ginger as I was, but I was ginger because I couldn't really see anything. And once you did that, the hard drive should just stay up by itself. Next, grab your SATA connector. It can be either black or red, it doesn't really matter as it's only the color, but grab it anyways. Then, making sure it's the right way around, plug in the SATA connector into the hard drive. And while you're at it, grab the last power bus from the power supply and plug it into the hard drive. Eventually. Now you can tilt forward the hard drive, and while you're tilting forwards, you can then plug in the SATA connector into the top SATA port of the motherboard. Then put in the hard drive all the way into the case. And do not do this. That could break it. Instead, gently put in the hard drive like this until you feel a click. Now, being completely satisfied, you can finally close your computer case and just marvel at your accomplishments. Wait, what? Hey,